You know, I feel bad for the people who downloaded my Ninja mod. If you look at the Make Something Unreal contest site, you look at the entries for this last section, and I'm fourth from the top, so I can easily get some publicity from that. And we've got on that page, I've got only a short little text description. Sure, that's fine, and it goes over to File Planet, and I can't update that description there. I can't provide images or anything, so the only thing people can do is actually download it to see what it's really like and what it's really about. In less than a week I had 16 people download it. By the time I'm recording this, I've had 56 people download it. Undoubtedly, each one expecting something more. I mean, sitting amongst all of these very awesome and well put together entries, here's one titled Ninja Mod. Ooh, cool, ninjas. But I never made any mods to the gameplay like I had intended to do, and all I really had to package were 2 levels and my badly skinned Pitch and Cream characters. So these people see this name Ninja Mod, yet it has no ninjas and it is not a mod. I'm certain I've let down everyone who's downloaded it. And I can't even change the description or find some way to warn them and just say, hey, this isn't that great, it's just something I was trying to do. You might find it there's no reason to be concerned about it. Okay, they play it, they see what it really is, and then they know. But very reasonably, I worry, because it's one thing to look at something being told, okay, this isn't that great, and you see it, okay, it's not that great. But if you come into something thinking it could be really great, and then find out it's really not, that's a major letdown, and you wind up despising the work a lot more than you otherwise would. And so I'm worried about how people feel about this, and, you know, I want to publicly apologize for the clear disappointment I'm certain that I've brought. This project does not meet the level of what I intended to create. You know, when I was devising this project back in early '07, I was actually thinking of it as a mod for Duke Nukem. Well, Shadow Warrior, really. I had a few clever ideas that wouldn't be too hard to pull off. I mean, there's been a lot of tools and updates that people have made since they released the source code. But as I thought about it for a while, I really wanted to make this project, and I had to acknowledge that it would never get anywhere using Build, so I began to make it using Unreal Tournament 2004. But I really wanted to make something with the Build engine. I learned all the ins and outs of the editor, and I devoted a lot of time to it. I really wanted to get something out of it. I wanted something to show for all of that work. I had put forth a lot of effort into some Duke levels, and even if I still had them, I can't imagine people would really care. Back in the day, I was creating a mod of Duke that I called Rippin' a New One. I was creating a full load of levels, a complete campaign. I made some recognizable headway on the project, but a hard drive failure claimed all of my work. Soon after my brother moved out and took his computer, I didn't really have one that could run anything recent or modern, and couldn't even really rebuild the efforts I was taking on Duke. Of all my labors with Build, the only items to survive to today are just the very first efforts I ever made in any facet of level design. And they're really not that impressive. In fact, they're really, really crappy. So all the years I put into Build means nothing. I have nothing to show for it. I have been shafted. I have been denied the chance to ever make it building video games by no fault of my own. I mean, what does it take to be able to make money by making video games? Hard work and dedication, right? But it takes more than that. Now, if you look at all the major developers talk about how they got started, you'll hear each one talk about how they were tinkering in their basement on a computer when they were a kid. Most of these people started off in just small groups and usually just partnerships, who made their first product and started selling it, a lot of time before they were even out of high school. But here's the catch that has caught me. Let's say, for example, as I've heard it, Cliffy B made Jazz Jackrabbit when he was 17 and still in high school, working with just one other friend. And if you compare this basement project with some of the common games of the time, it's right on par. These two guys made a project in high school that can carry its weight right along with the big leagues, and they were able to start selling it right then and there. This is the way it has been for most of the people in the industry. But skip ahead a few short years to when I was 17 and in high school. If I got together with a buddy of mine and made the same game, it comes up rather short compared to the games of the era. A small group of people in a garage can no longer create something that can get close to the quality of a modern game. If I made that game in high school, I couldn't sell it because no one would pay money for this outdated game. If I tried to use it as a demonstration of my talent while trying to get hired, they wouldn't want me because I'm making it look like I'm stuck in the past. The 3D market had just gone wild, and nobody cared about these 2D games anymore. Showcasing some 2D talent made it look like you didn't have the proper vision to keep up with where the games are going. So I barely managed to miss out on that whole path to a career. But that's not all, because I've also been denied today's path to a career. What people are doing now is very simple and reasonable. They spend their time working on their artistry, they build levels for published games, they build 3D models for their portfolio. Then they show what they can do to developers who then hire them. And that's kind of what I'm doing, but I've actually missed out on being able to take that path to a career. Why? Because those things I just described are being done by the same group of people. Kids still in high school, or, just old enough that they should be in college. People who don't have to get full-time jobs just to stay alive. So they have a lot of free time to build their portfolio. I can't compete with that. I barely have had time to make a few pitiful maps scantily spread across several eras. Developers will look at a 20-year-old applicant with 2 or 3 times as many maps to showcase and not give me a second thought. And even if we made just as many maps, theirs will all be with the most recent tools, whereas mine date back a decade. The younger applicant shows the experience that they are looking for. I mean, geez, we go from kids in college making professional quality games to kids in college making professional quality mods. And I got lost in the transition. Who's going to win the Make Something Unreal contest? Guarantee you it's going to be a group of college kids who all have the time they need to perfect their work. I sure don't have that time. Hell, I had to find and start a new job 4 times since the contest began. And I can't get help on this either. I mean, I know a dozen programmers who would love to work on this, who would love to help me. And I know several artists I could say the same for. But these people have house payments, they have car payments. Most of them have a wife and children. So these people can't turn their backs on all these other obligations and spend time on a project that can't pay them. So here I am, inept. Not because of my ability, but because of the year in which I was born.